Yo, yo, what's the deal? This is SenZei here with a little walkthrough of my personal template. And this is actually my template on SlimFast. So first off, I'm going to show you just one thing real quick. Let's go into Audio MIDI setup, okay? And in Audio MIDI setup, we have to set up our IAC buses, okay? So the IAC buses, you want to go here to the MIDI studio. All right, I'm using Yosemite. So these are the IAC buses that I use. Okay, so we have arpeggiator, chord trigger, modulator, note repeater, scripter, and capture port. Type those exactly how they are here so they can work inside of the DAW. Okay, again, arpeggiator, chord trigger, modulator, note repeater, scripter, and capture port. Okay. So that's that. All right, I'll close that out, and you can rewind it and pause it if you need to. So I'll close that out. Now let's go down to business. Okay, so first off, on the right-hand side down here, okay, we have a menu. We have, set 1 through 4, okay? So what that is representing keys, synths, drums, or orchestral, okay? So in keys, you have 4 different keys. In synths, you have 6 different synths. Here you have a few different, drum kits. Depending on, what you actually have installed, you can replace those on the channel strips to reflect what you actually have. And then we have the orchestral instruments that are actually imported from the orchestral template that's native to Logic, okay? So that's that. Then we have a bunch of screen sets that I have designated for a dual monitor setup. So it may or may not automatically snap to your windows if you have a dual setup. If not, then you can just arrange them, unlock them over here, and then relock them when you're done arranging the windows the way you need. But every single screen set has this same menu in the same exact corner. Okay. Then you have the instrument screen sets. These are actually basically when you double click this and you're in here and you see all the drums there. So you have the master selector here, okay? And then you have the beat repeat and all that. So every one of these is actually right here. That's each one of those are a screen set. So it brings you right into the actual region, and those are basically folders that contain specifically just those types of tracks. So whether it be synth, keys, drums, orchestral, etc. Okay? Alrighty then. So that's that. Now another option we have, I'm going to go into the MIDI window. Now let's skip the environment window for just a second. I'll just show it to you here. If you go to mix con mix, that brings you over here, and these are macros. Okay, so this actually you take the channel strip, okay, from whatever instrument you want to mix, and you just drag that over here from channel strip, right? Boom, right there. And then this will go, and you'll just drag this right here to the channel strip, okay, to the same channel strip. So to and from, you have the top from that same channel strip, and then to that channel strip. And then you have a little option here, mix control, okay. And actually I thought I added this. I think that's on a different screen set, but yeah, that it might be in a different screen. Maybe mixer. It might be on mixer, but anyway, this is the little menu that you have. So you can store the mix, so it'll actually capture your sends, your volume, your mute solos, your panning, and it'll bang those faders into one of those macros, whatever macro you choose. Okay, so here's the macro selector. You can select one of those macros right there. All right, and then you can store and recall them on the fly. All right, so you can A/B up to 8 different mixes. All right, so that's that option. Then you have let's see, what's this? Okay, it is here. Okay, that's the mixer. All right, excellent. So that's that. Then you have, your hyper editor. You have, basically a screen set for every single option almost that you have inside of Logic Pro. All right. So let's hit the step sequencer. All right. That's pretty much the all-in-one screen set. All right. So now what this is here is a beat repeat. It kind of works like Looper from Ableton Live. It'll actually throw your sound, the audio. It'll throw it into some kind of like tape delayed loop with different effects. So it'll be, a whole note, half note, etc. And then it'll turn your wet on full 100, dry to 0, and then it'll toggle. Then over here you have the lock, which is the B, okay, B whatever. So if you start on C, it would be C1, it would be B1, okay. So it would, all of these start on C. So starting from here, that would be C1, C sharp 1, and so on, okay. So this is the very last one, lock, okay. So it goes across, then these three, and then this one last, all right. So that's how that goes. And then we have this step sequencer that I created. So in the step sequencer, the way you use this is I have it mapped to my Cuneo. Okay, so the Cuneo, you see the lights lit up there. I have that set up where my arrows over here, the top two arrows, actually control shift. Now the shift, what that is shifting by a semitone. Okay, so it's the transposition by a semitone that'll change your whole scale, okay, or key mode that you select from the 30 key modes here to whatever key you want. So say for instance, you throw it into a minor scale and you want, this is all C's, right? I mean, it's from the C minor scale. So you just want a C sharp minor, you just bring it up 1, okay? And now you're in a C sharp minor, okay? It's just transpose all of this without the visual representation. You just have to, kind of keep an eye on that and count it, all right? Now over here, you have the key modes. I already went over that. You can actually select each one of these individually and change the key, okay? So if you have, a certain drum kit or a certain setup that you have already specified your MIDI notes, okay, you can just change the MIDI notes to whatever you want to control, okay, and then set it up here, all right, manually. But if you want to do it normal, I put it on chromatic, okay, and it'll just do chromatic scale right here, and it'll do it in sequence, okay. So I just leave like that. This is normal, basically where the octave falls for drum beats. So I keep it on +3, depending, unless you want to, go a little higher and use different samples from your drum kit, okay? But now this up here, the very, very, very top one, you can change this here, and that would actually change all of them at once, okay? So I'll just show you. We'll put it at 0, okay? It dropped it all to 0, okay? So you select number 3. Okay, so again, you can transpose it individually. You can mute each row individually. I don't have that set up particular to, the Cuneo as far as controlling it remotely with the MIDI controller, but I'm sure if you wanted to, you can. All right, then we have bars, okay? You have up to 8 bars, and these are the bars that you see here. So you're not actually gonna touch these 8 bars manually, unless you want to, okay? That's totally up to you, but I don't suggest it. I suggest playing it here and changing the bar in here, okay? Because if you do it here, it might, you might skip something in the sequence that I routed, and it might not function properly, okay? So just try to control everything from this central the beat, okay? And that's that. Now you can actually play up to 8 bars, and I'm gonna show you this in action in just a second. You can select up to 16 MIDI channels. You have the humanize on, which is gonna throw a random velocity for every single MIDI note that's outputted, okay? If you wanna turn it off, it's gonna output of standard velocity of, I think it's 127, maybe 100, not sure. Okay, then you have your on and off toggle, you have your master volume, controlling your master volume fader, and then you have the dim switch, which on the volume, on the master volume fader, there is a dim button, but that button is not set to receive or output MIDI. Okay, so I just did it manually. I just basically, when you hit that dim switch, and I'll show you, right, it'll drop it to negative 20 dB. When you turn it back on, turn it back off, it'll just bring it back to the standard value, okay, which is the, unity, 0 dB, okay? Alrighty then. Then you have your click, okay? Always remember that when you're playing with the step sequencer, you have to have the metronome on, okay? You have to have this on. And if you don't want to hear the metronome, this is a metronome mute. So the click is a metronome mute, okay? The reset will reset all values to 0, okay? The clear will just clear the current pattern, okay? And that's basically it. This is very top, C-2, will do the same thing that the octave does. It'll change all of the notes in this row to the same exact key that you switch over here, okay? So that's totally up to you how you want to use that. All right, so I think I've covered everything that I needed to. Now I'm gonna just show you this in action, okay? So I'll just press play real quick. All right, now it's playing on the Cuneo, but nothing is selected because I'm not on the master MIDI effects selector. Now, okay, now if you notice, it's actually playing the trombone, okay? Set for trombone, all right? So let's switch that. And I have this to be remotely controlled by my Axiom 61, okay? So just a little turn of a knob, and I have it there on set 1. Actually, I'm gonna put on set 3 for the drum kit designer, and we'll just leave it just like that, okay? So now when I press play, okay. All right, so those are the two patterns that I actually have there. Now, just to show you where the IAC buses are actually being used is actually in the master MIDI effects selector, okay? So you have the external in, and this is actually your capture port, okay? Then you have your MIDI effects, and these are your arpeggiator, chord trigger, modulator, note repeater, scripter, etc., okay? And they all have an external in with a MIDI effect set to them, okay? And that's that, all right? Now, we'll do a little drum beat real quick and show you how this works. All right, so as you see, you have a pattern here. Now I'm going to mute that click, the metronome, all right? So let's mute that. Now there's no metronome going on, all right? Now I'm gonna clear this pattern. So I'm going to press that once and clear that pattern, okay? Now, I believe it's playing 2 bars, so I'm just putting it on bar, 1 bar, okay? So it's only playing 1 bar now, and it is set to bar 1, okay? Now, if I press the right arrow, it's gonna load bar 2, okay? And I'll just clear that one and start from scratch and go back to bar 1, and a little simple drum beat, so do hi-hats, all right, then right there, just a little 1, 2, okay, all right, and then we'll go to bar 2, all right, so then we'll do the off beats, all right, do a little groove here. Okay, now I want to play 2 bars, okay? So what I'll do is I'll change it to 2 bars over here and go back to bar 1, okay? So it starts on bar 1 and it'll play through 2 bars, okay? And you can do that same thing all the way up to 8 bars, all right? Now, I'm gonna show you the beat repeat, show you what that's about. Now, I do have the drum kit designer being sent to the beat repeat on an aux channel, okay? So that's controlled like that. So I have, this is the beat repeat, watch. So I just locked it with B. Now just unlock it right there, okay? So that's basically this whole entire template in just a nutshell, okay? So trying to think if there's anything additional now. Okay, I believe there is something additional. And that is actually recording a melody. Okay, so I'm going to show you now a melody, and I'm going to choose from the right menu there, okay, piano. Okay, so piano is already selected, piano 1 is selected. I have set 1 for piano. Okay, now I have to clear this whole pattern. Okay, so I'm going to press play. It's going to play a couple of piano notes, but I'll make that quick. All right. Okay, we clear that, and clear that again. All right, so that's everything is clear. Okay, now I'm gonna change the key mode to say a Lydian. All right, so we'll do a Lydian there, and we'll do actually that's a C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. We'll do an E Lydian, all right? So check this out. Okay, so that's just playing the melody, all right? So now you can actually record this, okay? So now I'm just going to press record, and whatever is playing is going to be recorded onto that master selected track, okay? Now mind you, if I do have more than one pattern playing, it's going to, of course, record all of the patterns, okay? So that's that. Now, okay, what I do want to show you is this. I'm going to turn my step sequencer off, okay? And now I just want to play with this melody here, okay? So I'm going to do this real quick just for demo purposes, okay? Now I'm going to have that play, but I'm going to turn some MIDI effects on, okay? So MIDI effect, I want the arpeggiator. Let's see, where's the arpeggiator? Right there, okay, so check it. Okay, so now let's try the chord trigger. Turn the little knob, press chord trigger. Okay, so you get the point. And basically what you can do is, if you wanted to record this with the chords, okay, what I would do is I would go into instrument, let's see, we're doing it on the keys. So what I'll do actually is I'll take this MIDI region, I'll cut it, okay, go into the keys screen set. All right, and well, that's not the keys. All right, so let's see. All right, well, let me just go back up. I'll have to fix the screen sets. But yeah, let's go back to 1 here and go into the keys. All right, press enter, Command V, and now we have this here. Now I do have it on piano 1, so I'm going to leave it there, okay? But I want to record the chords right on the piano, okay? So check it out one more time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the piano. Make sure that's record enabled. Then I'm going to record MIDI effects on and just press record. Okay, so as you see, it outputted the chords. And what I'm going to do is delete this, bring this region up here, and I'm going to switch it to arpeggiator now. Check it. And I'm going to record. And you can keep on going. You can, throw some modulator. You can throw the note repeater, throw something from the scripter, and keep repeating this process over and over until you achieve whatever craziness you want to achieve. So that's the entire template. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. God bless.